Jeff Nadu is back for a Tuesday. We take a look ahead to all the conference championship tournaments. March Madness is here, and Jeff Nadu's appearance is brought to you by Prop Swap, America's sports betting marketplace. Sell your sports bets, take your profit, find out how at PropSwap.com or download the Prop Swap app today. This is a perfect time of the year for Prop Swap. You buy that ticket. Let's get a couple of long shots from Jeff to see if you are going to prop swap a team for the NCAA tournament, Jeff. What are some of the teams that are like long shots that if they make it to like the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8, you would post that ticket on Prop Swap and be able to take those bids? You got some, I don't want to say long shots, but teams, Gonzaga, Baylor, Michigan are such heavy favorites that you could get good value on teams that are going to make it to the Elite 8.
Yeah, you can. And thanks for having me, Mike, as always. Always good to talk to you. Yeah, this year is full of those teams because I think outside of the top 2 or 3 teams, it's a real kind of crapshoot. And, luckily for the Elite 8, Mike, there's not 2 or 3 teams. There's 8. So you have plenty of room to find a way in there. Yeah, I mean, as I've said to you before, a team like Loyola Chicago is interesting. I'll throw you 2. Oregon at currently 65-1 at certain spots. They're a team that I think has some real ability. They're finally healthy. They've got a kid that can take over the game in Chris Duarte. They're big. They play a great zone defense. They're a tough team to scheme for. You don't want to see them in your bracket because of Dane Altman's success and his ability to defend and kind of figure things out on the fly. Another group that I've been pretty high on is Purdue. They're another group that really defend at a high level. They've got a really deep team full of veterans and young players alike. They have some real young kids that are terrific. And they have a kid, Mike, Zach Edey, 7'4", 285. Mike, I single-handedly the other day against Indiana won my bet on Purdue because Zach Edey just stood over top of people and rebounded the ball when it matters most. And get this, Mike, Zach Edey is 7'4". Free throw percentage is at 73%. Shout out Ben Simmons. This guy's 7'4", 285, and shoots 74% from the line. If he can do it, Ben, you can do it.
Well, by the way, Ben Simmons slander will not be taken here. He's shooting 70% from the line in February.
I'll do it all year, Mike.
All right. He's getting better. You can admit that, can't you?
No, he is getting better. It was more just a joke. But yeah, I really like Purdue. I'm high on them. They don't make mistakes. They really grind games out, and they're from a conference where they've been tested all year. Matt Painter, that team's getting hot at the right time. Like 5 straight wins headed into the Big Ten tournament. I talk about Big Ten tournaments, all the tournaments. The biggest key to tournament betting, conference tournaments, betting on teams that are hot. Prime example is Elon. Elon has won 7 in a row, and they're in the conference, the Colonial Conference with a shot to win it tonight. You got to bet on teams that are hot. Purdue's hot. They can make a run.
Elon Drexel, 3.5. There you go. Let's start off with that one for the people.
Yeah, not a person or soul on earth outside of Zach Spiker and the coach at Elon would have thought that those teams would have the opportunity to be in the CAA tournament. But this is what happens, Mike. Weird year, weird things go on. Keep in mind, Elon, I think, started the season 0-7 in conference play, and here they are. When you look at this game, it's a really tough handicap. There's things about Elon that I like. They've made some adjustments, Mike, and that's coaching. When you have things that aren't working and you're struggling for the season, if you find a way to figure it out and get something that works, you got to stick with it. And Elon made a big change. They grabbed the kid that they were playing on the perimeter and said, you know what? We're going to put you down low. You're a matchup problem for some of these bigger guys. The problem that Elon's had on that end is defensively. If they face a team that has bigs that can just kind of body you down low, they're going to give up a lot of points. I worry about that tonight against Drexel. Drexel is a big team. They've got good guard play. They're playing at a really high level. I'll tell you this, Mike, it's a really tough game to handicap. Both teams are playing well. I think Drexel win probably, but I have no interest in betting it. Should be a great CAA final. 2 deserving teams that are playing well right now. I lean Drexel, but I won't be betting it.
All right, so let's look at you got a lot of games today in these conference tournaments. The ACC kicking off as well. You don't normally see Duke in this game, but they're getting one of these early first-round ACC games. 11 points. It's up to 13 in some spots. It opened at 11, up to 13 against Boston College. Duke's been playing a lot better recently.
Yeah, there's a lot of sharp money taking Duke today, Mike. A lot of big bettors, a lot of smart bettors coming in and taking Duke here. They don't believe in Boston College, and why should they? It's been a mess of a season for them. I kind of looked at this game and thought over. This kind of screams like 83, 72 or 85, 70, something like that. Both these teams do play with a pace to them, and Mike, the problem Duke has had, it's not been scoring. They can score the basketball. It's getting stops defensively. Neither of these teams do much in the way of stopping each other. When you look at overs, a lot of the time people bet overs in like close tournament-style games where every position matters late in the game. This is a game where I don't think possessions are going to matter. It's going to be pretty much a blowout towards the final 5-10 minutes of the game. You're going to get up and down offense. I think BC has the ability to put 70 on a board here. I think if they can do that, this game turns quickly to kind of one of those – 83, 73 type of games. I'll lean over here, but there is, Mike, very few things I hate worse than these high-level conference early matchups in conference tournaments. What it means is you have a lot of bad teams. It's just not real enjoyable basketball. It's tough. It's a crapshoot. This card today is very difficult.
Yeah, it is a tough card. Well, you get these conference games. Teams have got a lot to play for here. Let me go to the number one Gonzaga team. What have they won? Like 22 straight games by double digits. They're a 14-point favorite in the West Coast Conference Championship game tonight against BYU. So, do they keep that streak going? 14. Do they win by double digits? Do you like that number 14?
I don't love it. I will look at the game that BYU played in Gonzaga February 8th. It was actually in BYU. Mike, with 7 minutes to go, Gonzaga was up 72-50. Final score, 82-71. Brigham Young didn't quit. They played to the final whistle. And, barring the number you got, you either won or lost that game or pushed. Gonzaga just didn't keep their foot on the gas. Last night, this is a team that doesn't keep their foot on the gas. We saw last night, Mike, they had 77 points with 3:40 to go. You know how many points they finished with? 77. Team total was 79.5 for Gonzaga. This team has an issue keeping their foot on the gas because they don't need to. They don't care that much. BYU is the best team in this conference outside of Gonzaga. The way I would look at betting Gonzaga games, I think the only way you can bet them is in the first half right now. I have no interest in laying these big numbers, especially even at 14. That's a solid price. If you're looking to grab Brigham Young, they are the best team outside of Gonzaga by a country mile. So for me, I rode last night Gonzaga first half team total over 38.5. They put up 46 points a game in the first half. They get the job done in the first half. I would look towards some sort of first half for Gonzaga. They're going to win this game. But again, an 82-71 doesn't look any different. It's just about winning games. And this will be a monotone win of a championship. This is expected. They're undefeated.
All right. Another game that I would imagine Jeff Nadu, at Jeff Nadu on Twitter, has his eye on. How about Bryant St. Mary's? Started 4.5. It's at 6.5 now.
Yeah, NEC tournament final up in Rhode Island for Bryant. This is a big-time game for them. This is a group that really hasn't had a ton of success. They're coming off a COVID pause, Mike. Played on Saturday against Sacred Heart, first game here in the tournament. Had a couple guys out with COVID. They still won by 30. That's how good this team is. Now they're coming back with a full complement of players. I will tell you this, Mike. One of the issues tonight with this card, there's either low-level conference games as far as teams that aren't good playing each other. The other groups are games like this where you have a clash in styles, tournament finals. You have one team that wants to go a mile a minute. You have another team that wants to slow everything down, play in the half court, defend at a high level. I'll tell you what, Mike, I like the under in this game. I think this is a lot more lower scoring than we would assume. Bryant is a group that is very good offensively, but they do a really good job defensively at shutting down the perimeter. I think Mount St. Mary is going to struggle a bit. Keep in mind, Mount beat them, I believe, twice last year. I know you think I'm on this game, and I want to back Bryant. I think they're going to win, but this number steamed up. The betting public has fell in love with Bryant here. If this touches 7, I don't hate taking Mount St. Mary's here. I think Mount throw a little curveball here and make them play at the pace they don't want to play. I saw them do it this year, Mike, against Wagner. This slow tempo, they struggled with it, Bryant. It's not something they want to play. So I think Bryant will win, but I get a feeling it's closer than people think.
I know tomorrow, just to give some people some help, there's a team on the card, Colgate Bucknell, that I'm sure you would like to hit on. By the way, that game is a 14-point spread now, so if you jump on it now, you're going to get 14.
Yeah, Colgate is a group that has really ran roughshod over the Patriot League for a couple of years now. This is a conference that didn't get started this year until the new year. They took care of really every team they played. They didn't play Bucknell, though. And weirdly enough, Mike, I actually remember these two teams were scheduled to play in the regular season, and it got called off due to coronavirus as a Saturday, Sunday tilt. I'll tell you right now, if you're going to give me 14, I would take Bucknell. I think Bucknell is better than people think. They have a kid, John Meeks. He's very good. Andrew Funk, a good player as well. This is a team that offensively I think can hang in the gym with Colgate. And they're a team defensively that has the number 1 2-point defense in the league. So if you're going to give me 14 here, that I actually had it at plus 13 the first game. So I'll take an extra point here. It's conference tournament time. It's time to play your best. This is a Bucknell team that's not going to make a ton of mistakes. I don't think they're going to get crushed on the boards. They are not 14 points worse than Colgate. I'd be on the dog here.
All right, one other one tomorrow that I find interesting because you look at Sooners, Oklahoma 14-9, Cyclones, Iowa State 2, and just having a terrible season. But I feel like I look at that 11 is an interesting number there.
Yeah, it is. Oklahoma is a team that over the years, Mike, I'm not sure there's a team in college basketball that has screwed me more than Oklahoma. They're just a team that I don't have a good read on. First game these two teams played, 79-72, Oklahoma. It was close. This is an Oklahoma team recently that lost to Oklahoma State twice, lost to K-State, the worst team in his conference. Really have looked poor at times. Oklahoma doesn't do a whole lot for me. They're a little bit too dependent on the three. I don't love Brady Manick as a player. I think he can kind of get bullied off the ball a lot of the time. I have no interest in laying double digits. It's been a long time since Iowa State won, Mike. But I'll tell you what, they played pretty well against Oklahoma.
They lost 17 in a row. They're 0-18 in conference.
And their only wins this year are against Pine Bluff and Jackson State. Pine Bluff is one of the worst teams in the country, and Jackson State's in the SWAC. Who solid win, but 2 wins on the season. Ugly season for Steve Prohm and company.
All right. Before we roll, Jeff, of course, will be back for the weekend edition when all these conference championship games will be in full swing. And then we have the selection show on Sunday. Your favorite play of the day, tomorrow, maybe the week, because we got all these games. Is there a game that you're zoned in on for the people out there?
Yeah, I took a shot tonight with Oakland plus 2.5 or 3. It depends where you're getting it. It's the it's the Horizon League title game. This is a nutty conference, man. A lot of weird things happen, but Oakland has been very solid throughout. They run a defense it's very tough to score against right now, just because in this conference teams can't shoot at a real high level. They run a zone. I thought they were really dynamic last night against Northern Kentucky. I think they followed up with another big win. Oakland started the season like 0-9. They have an opportunity to go dancing. A lot of people tell me that their coach and I resemble each other. If you ever look him up, his name is Greg Campy. A lot of people say I resemble him. So I'm going to go with my doppelganger tonight and his boys from up in Michigan, plus the 2.5. I think they go dancing tonight. I'm going to jump on Oakland plus 2.5.
BMOC, Jeff Nadu, taking a look at some of the games. And, of course, he, like all guests, appears via the Boardwalk on the hotline. We might have some news for Jeff.
No random questions today.
I don't have a random question today. You know why? Because I'm off the rest of the week, and I looked up at the clock today. It was 2 o'clock.
Nailing it early, huh?
I looked at the clock. I said, oh, my gosh, I got to do a show now. I got to do all the production. I got to do everything before I leave.
Mike, look at my picture. The mic lines perfectly with the mic stand. Look at that.
The mic line's perfect with the.
See the mic stand, like the fake mic stand?
Oh, yeah. Right there. Yeah, that does look pretty good.
That's actually really cool. Hey, Mike, might have something going next week. Might see you soon.
I'll get you the details. If the people listening, we might have some details on something next week for the tournament. And you're going to be down at the MAC tournament at all?
I'm not. It looks like only friends and family are going to be able to be there, but hopefully next year. I'm probably going to be living down there by then. So, yeah, I'll definitely be there next year. But, yeah, this season, I think it's just friends and family can be there. And I'm no friend or family of any.
And Josh. Josh is
Josh is going.
He's going tonight, right? As media.
Oh, you got to give me a media pass.
You should have asked. Shout out Boardwalk Hall.
Love Boardwalk Hall.
Great.
Shout out Boardwalk Hall.
All right, Jeff, we'll talk to you.
Cheers, Mike.
Jeff Nadu is the betting expert, of course, here on the Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN. And he, like all guests, appeared to be the Boardwalk Honda Hotline